Hello, everyone. My name is John Redmon. I am the proud owner of Satchmo Taxi, based in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Not only am I the owner and operator of Satchmo Taxi, but I'm also a pianist, composer, singer, arranger, record producer, and a highly visible Louis Armstrong impressionist. Louis Armstrong is a jazz legend, Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame inductee, and a man of inescapable influence. His nickname was Satchmo. As a boy, he hid his money in his mouth to keep bullies from stealing it. They called him Satchel Mouth, which eventually became Satchmo. So in homage or in honor to him, I decided to call my private transportation service Satchmo Taxi. You know, music has always been the soundtrack of my life. Music has opened doors I never imagined. But the story started long before the awards, and my life didn't begin with applause. I was born on May the 8th, 1975, in Berkeley, California, and I wasn't alone. My fraternal twin sister Esther arrived first and has reminded me my entire life that she's older. We were both 8 pounds each. My mother says she was so large during her pregnancy that people saw her stomach rounding the corner before the rest of her body caught up. Waiting at home was our pissed off 2-year-old sister Mary. She wasn't thrilled about having 2 new roommates. Let's just say sibling rivalry started early. What didn't start early was having a father. He was out of the picture. Well, technically that's a lie. That's not true. He actually only existed in pictures. We were introduced to him and saw his face only in photographs. By the time my twin and I were born, my mother had left him for safety reasons. We never heard his voice, never held his hand, never locked eyes. My mother had made that tough choice to become a single parent of 3. That decision carried with it heartbreak, depression, and enormous responsibility. We lived in the ghettos of Oakland, California in a 1-bedroom apartment. Y'all, we were so poor, living on welfare and food stamps. As a household, we counted down to the 1st and 15th of every month. When Esther and I were about 9 years old, Mom received a phone call. Dad had passed away, alone in a hotel room. Any dream of meeting him face to face vanished that day. Now, right around the same time we learned of our father's death, my mother told us these words. She says, "Kids, I think you're old enough now. I'm going back to work." She worked for the city of Oakland and eventually retired from an administrative secretary. But life overwhelmed her at times. She spent lots of time in therapy. There were seasons of medication. There were dark days. But she was a woman of faith. She couldn't give us much materially. What she gave us was an abundance of love, hope, and vision. She would sit all of us down and say, "You can do it. And you can do it even though it's never been done before." We were poor, but somehow we believed her. Not having a father affected all of us. My sister sought affection in relationships. I sought refuge at the piano. Over the years, the piano became my safe place, my counselor, my voice. All 3 of us attended a private Christian school called Golden Gate Academy in Oakland, California, and we attended there from 1st grade all the way through the 12th grade. In 1993, me and Esther graduated from high school, and I graduated as valedictorian. From there, I attended Athens State University in Athens, Alabama, and graduated summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Information Systems in 2001. See, on paper, it looked like everything was aligning, but internally, I was still trying to find myself. I was such a late bloomer. I didn't lose my virginity until I was about 29 years old. I dated both men and women, searching for identity, of affirmation, belonging. And when you grow up without a father, you spend years trying to answer that question, am I enough? So after 7 meaningful but ultimately unsuccessful relationships with both guys and girls, I made a decision. I would marry my music, my mission, and my ministry. I've been happily single for over a decade now and truly content. Over the past 3 decades, I've started multiple companies, a record label, a publishing company, a marketing company, a nonprofit, and eventually, Satchmo Taxi. Satchmo Taxi was birthed in October 2025 out of necessity. After completing thousands of rides for Lyft and Uber over the past 10 years, I realized customers were paying more and more, while us drivers were making less and less. The model felt broken, so I built something different. A company for friends and neighbors, a service rooted in integrity, safe, dependable transportation, available 24/7 at a fair price. Here in Colorado Springs, I offer clean, comfortable vehicles and consistent, high-quality service. When people book Satchmo Taxi, they're not getting a random driver. They're getting me, someone who values their time, their comfort, their peace of mind. Whether it's an airport run, a long-distance trip, or just a ride across town, my goal is simple: to become the most trusted name in transportation in our community. Because every ride carries a story. And I've learned something after decades behind a piano and behind a steering wheel. People just don't need transportation. They need connection. They need hope. They need someone to remind them that they matter. Yeah, I pick up people, but I drop off hope. So Mom, you were right. I can do it, even though it's never been done before. And if my life proves anything, you can too.
That's a wonderful world.